can cheat them also, I mean, on the face. Oh, I will come, but I don't come. So that kind of false promises I can make directly. But here, when I am doing the schooling thing, I'm cheating the parents. And that too on the shoulders of that child. I mean, I'm earning in the books, I'm taking the percentage. Those who don't know, we people get good percentage in selling the books to the children. I mean, parents, they get the books and they pay for the money and we give them at full price, although we are getting it at 50% or maybe 40%. So that way we earn money. The second thing is we ask them for donations and various, kind of collecting the money in various ways. So that was there, and it's like cheating them. And if you're not able to give the proper education to a child, or the child is not able to absorb that, what's the use of that education? So I, after 1 year of that schooling, started of thinking of, closing down the venture. And fortunately, I talked to one of my relative in US. She was living there, and she's still, living there. So I talked to her, I said, this is not working. Then she said, what do you want? I said, I want children to come here really joyous, happy, and they just don't want to go back home. They want to learn more and more. That is the kind of education I wanted. She said, you're crazy. I said, what? I said, this is what I wanted. That's my opinion. I believe there must be some way there. There must be something we can do about it. Then she said, okay, fine, I'll think about it. And I'll give you, whatever is present in the world. I don't know. Then fortunately, she met a person who was her friend, and she was doing some work in the Montessori school. And then she has come across the, idea of Montessori. She has given me a book, The Absorbent Mind, and I've taken that book. I studied, and the goosebumps were, coming as I was reading the book. And I said, this is it. This is what I wanted. She said, you know what? It's really, really hard. I said, so what? This is giving life to the child. We will be having a very good future. Yeah, we are talking about the future of the world, a peaceful and caring and loving world. So why not start it? They said, people will not like it. I said, I don't care. That was the time when she really thought, this boy is not going to stop. So she actually helped me like anything. She turned every stone out, and she worked with me for years and years, and even now we are working, and for the better future, right? Again, I'm telling you, for the better future of the children in primary education, I saw clearly that there is a hope in this system of education. I have attended many conferences after that. I've gone to places to see the Montessori schools in India, but nothing was there. People are doing it in the name of Montessori. What they're doing is 1 year of program, small room, having a small set of activities, some tools of Montessori, nothing else. And that was the end of it. And then they were going to the same formal conventional method. So it was happening mostly in Chennai, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, I went there, and Kolkata, I went there. Nothing was there. Only one place in Ahmedabad, there was Shreyas campus. This is one of the campuses which has been originally, that training has been given by Dr. Maria Montessori. And in the, close to Sabarmati, there was a school which was started by her only. It was in bad shape, like ruined and totally, yeah. So it was not a scene to discuss here. But Shreyas campus was doing good because that lady spirit was still in that particular area. So my main concern was to bring that kind of future to the children, which can develop them into a responsible and independent being. Now, independent thinkers, if a person is independent, he can think, he can put his own decisions up front and, walk on that. It's like our job is done. That's what education is all about. So bringing that into the structure was very hard, but we did that job, and I think it's going in the right direction even now. I would like to, if by your permission only, I would like to show a small PowerPoint presentation of the institute we are running in Delhi. It's in Delhi. So it will give you a little idea that how it has been going. Although there's no history in it, it is about year 2014 and very recent what we have done. So I can just show you a little glimpses of it. Yeah. So thank you very much for listening to me, and I would like to hear something from you about the same. Yeah, please.
I can speak to that. Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question maybe after this and wanted to share my own experience with my son because I have a daughter of 14 years old and son 8 years old. Um, I don't know about you're aware there's a Gear Foundation in Bangalore which run on Montessori. So what I like in that school, because I've been associated with that school for almost 11 and 12 years, they don't have, she is going to be in 10th now, they don't have an exam with the books. That is the best part I like. So because you don't have to force, you have to read the chapter, read this, read that. They ask like an example of write about your birthday celebration in past tense. Okay? If you have 10 coins, if you stack them, what shape it comes. So that is, I feel, and my daughter is a perfectionist, so even though she gets everything, and my son, not so perfectionist, but I read, he loves reading, and when we both read encyclopedia, I am very surprised, 8 years old, 80% of the encyclopedia questions he tells very easily. Because I felt that maybe how the Montessori works or the thought process they have gained over the period is just concept they have cleared so well that they're able to answer even things. So like we were going in Dubai in a Ferrari world, and he was explaining aerodynamics, and I was very surprised. The 8 years person is teaching me aerodynamics.
That's right.
So that's a beauty. I felt it how the just concept learning works versus the academic learning works.
Yeah, that's.
The second thing
Okay.
I wanted to ask, because I am a wealth advisor and a lot of people across the globe I go, a lot of people are asking and few of my customers started a homeschooling. And I keep repeating and thinking I should start homeschooling or not. Uh, I want a statistics on how homeschooling in India will work.
So your first question, I would like to tell you a little bit about the way Montessori works. Montessori gives you the cosmic education. I mean, the child is at the center, and the connection of the child with the world, I mean, that keeps on increasing. The day the child entering into that classroom with a lot of activities around him, he is going to connect with those activities and learning what is the aim. I mean, he is absorbing it and then doing the research later on. So that research opens up so much widely in his domain that he's not being able to stop himself or herself. He's really moving forward, and teachers have to rush because they have to arrange the environment. And for the teachers, a lot of work. They have to be really on their toes because they know the child is really going to ask the questions, and the child is going to find those answers very soon. And they have to be ready with that. So that really brings that child the inquisitiveness of the information, of the knowledge, of the learning, how this world is being made, why, what is the existence of his own, how he's breathing, why the tree is like this. I mean, all those questions he want to search, and we have to provide that kind of environment. I mean, that is the beauty of this work. And the second thing about the statistics, homeschooling is, as far as I know, people are thinking about it, and some people are doing it even. To what extent, that I don't know. I mean, there are not any clear-cut statistics about that. So I'm not the right person to ask about that. Maybe other people were sitting here. Yeah.
I won't be able to tell you the exact statistics, but I know of people who are now doing homeschooling because they are very well educated, well traveled parents who are not satisfied with the current system. But it's not for everyone because it's a very, very responsible task. You're literally handling your child's future. So you have to be a very well-educated, well-traveled, well-read, disciplined parent. You can't start. I have a very dear friend who's homeschooling, and she's from Australia. She migrated to India, so she found the Indian system lacking. So you have to be very brave, and she's very disciplined. We can't just make a program to go anywhere because Rema is homeschooling her children. And if you can do it, good for you, excellent. But the only drawback of a homeschooling, which can be compensated, is peer interaction. That's my personal belief, that you can do a lot, you can cater it to your child's needs, the pace is monitored, but do make sure that you take your child to excursions, you bring him to, I as a principal allowed 2-3 homeschooling parents to visit the school, and some children take well to it, but I must cite one example of a girl, when it was recess and she saw a crowd of children milling in and out, she would faint. She was just not used to seeing so many children together. So you have to also see the country you live in. Now, if you homeschool a child and has to live in India, has to take a train from the railway station, you want them to be, after all, fit for life. So homeschooling is okay if you can supplement it and fill that need of peer interaction, peer learning, and that's it.
Can I just make a comment? Because I come from France, but I'm British, and I have a perspective on homeschooling.
Yeah, probably.
So from where I'm from, homeschooling is really the end of the line. It's not the primary choice of parents. They would like their children to be in mainstream schooling, but there are reasons why they can't. Perhaps they live in a country where they don't have the curriculum to continue their education. Maybe it's an English education or a French education, and they're living in a remote place. In Africa, for example, I have Canadian friends that are in Burundi right now. The other reason is because the child does not interact and integrate very well with other children for very, very different reasons. And the other reason is religion. Some of the American families that I've met that are living in France, they don't want their children exposed to mainstream schooling. They don't want their children to pick up bad habits, and they want to protect them. So in my world, homeschooling is a last resort. It's not the reason to provide your child with the best education. So I just wanted to share that with you, just as a different perspective. And the other thing I'd like to say is, I have 2 sons that are approaching teenagehood. I am British. They were born in America. And they've had an American Montessori. They started off in Montessori in America. Then they went to England for a year, where English is their first language. Now